positive affirmations. So, without further ado, let's get started, and a big thank you to Nick once again. Alright. So, first and foremost, hello. I hope you're doing well. I know that life is very stressful. Whatever it is that you may be going through, whether it's school, family life, personal relationships, work, or whatever the occasion may be, I know that there's a lot of overthinking that comes into play with certain situations like those. And so, it's very important to not necessarily stop your overthinking, but learn to appreciate it and the few benefits that it could have for you. And overthinking tends to lead us into sort of like thinking of the worst possible outcome of a situation, and majority of the time that is not the case. That's not what actually happens. And so it's very important to keep that into consideration, that although overthinking could be something that raises your anxiety and stuff like that, it's also a vital part of your life, and it should be not necessarily hated on, but also appreciated for what it does. Because in a way, it prepares you for the absolute worst, and then once the situation actually happens, it's not as bad as you thought, and you get a sense of relief. But it's very important. Very important to come to terms with this and find some ways that help you with your overthinking, whether that's playing with a fidget toy or just talking to yourself in your mind some positive affirmations like I can do this, everything's going to be okay, stuff like that. Generally will help you, but each person is different, so it's important to take that with a grain of salt, because what works for one does not work for everyone. And so, yeah. And it's also very important to find your self-confidence and your personal attributes that you bring forward to the table, because you are valuable. You always have been. You have a purpose in this life. There's a reason why you are here. So embrace it, although you sometimes may think that you have specific flaws that kind of, how do you say this, kind of like as a downgrade, I guess, to your overall being. It actually boosts who you are as a person, because it not necessarily gives you a thing to work on, but it's something that makes you you. You're not going to be perfect at everything you do. You could either be, like, let's say that you could be very intelligent in terms of schoolwork, and you may not be the best at creative stuff, putting stuff together, or this or that, or the quite opposite. You might be like an amazing artist, but find that math is not necessarily your strong suit. And as I've said before, everyone has flaws, everyone, and it's not necessarily a flaw because it makes you you. Like, I know it may sound very cliche, the whole saying that there's no one else in the world like you, and it's quite literally true. You're not going to look exactly the same as someone else. You're not going to have the same personality. You're not going to have the same, what's it called? The same strengths, the same weaknesses or whatnot. And so, it's important to keep that in mind and build your self-confidence everything that you worry about, everything that you're happy about, everything in between. It makes you, you. And it's important to work through these kind of like obstacles that are in our heads, because in reality it's all in our heads. If, let's say, one of your flaws is I'm trying to learn a new language and you're not grasping it very well, it doesn't necessarily mean you're bad at it. It just means you need a little more time with it. And this applies to everything else. You may just need more time with it, and that's completely okay. Everyone works at their own pace, everyone learns at their own pace, and it's very essential to not compare yourself to others, as one does, and it's very common nowadays. But it's very, 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 very important to be your own person. And I feel like that's also why some flaws may come up. Flaws, or kind of imperfections that you see by yourself, but that doesn't mean everyone else sees you like that. Because you're so in your head about specific like criteria about yourself that may not be to your desired level, that you start looking into it too much and just what's it called? Just focusing so much on the specific problem that you think it's a problem. So maybe I could have worded that a bit better. You start looking at this specific attribute of yourself so much that you start seeing all the things that are bad about it. Like, let's say, let's talk about like a hand. So you see a hand, it's like maybe you see this indentation is a lot more prominent than, let's say, a little one like right here. And you may start looking at it more frequently and start beginning to see problems with it when there's never a problem there to begin with. And so I feel like that's sort of where a lot of our issues, not issues, but like some of how we begin to think we have something wrong with us when we don't. And so it's very important to keep that in mind, that just because you think something's wrong or whatnot, that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone thinks that about you. I'm sure you are wonderful. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. You are wonderful. You are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And you are more than capable of achieving whatever it is that you put your mind to. Now, I may not know you in person, but I know that you have a very, 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 very kind soul. You just have to work a little bit on being kinder to yourself, because you deserve it. You deserve it, you deserve it, you deserve it. After everything that you've gone through, you deserve to be kinder to yourself. You need to embrace who you are as a person, because there's no one like you. There's no one like you. There's no one like you. There is no one like you. There's no one like you. You. So embrace it. Embrace all your imperfections, your flaws, and turn them into your strengths and your perfections about yourself, because it all comes down to our perception of how we see ourselves and how we see reality. And the mind is very powerful. There's this kind of way of thinking that I go by, which I'm sure some other people do as well, which is fake it till you make it. So look at those overthinking thoughts, all of your flaws, and tell yourself they're not flaws. They are what make you you. They're actually your strengths. They aren't weaknesses. And before you know it, they will be. But it's also important to say this, looking in the mirror, like talking to yourself, because it's like you're telling yourself that personally. It's not like you're just saying it out in thin air, which is also good. It could also be used as like a positive affirmation for yourself. Positive affirmation for yourself. But telling yourself directly to like a mirror will work wonders for you. Even if you start off lightly and then work your way up. Also, I do apologize if you hear any background noise. I am back in my dorm at university, so there are students in dorms all around me. And so when a door closes, you probably will hear it. So I do apologize, but as I've said, we need to embrace it because it makes us us. Having those background noises of door slamming makes me me because I am a university student, and that can be applied to yourself as well. If you're a student, if you're a worker, maybe your boss is, there's like one of these little fuzzies in my nose, but maybe your boss is currently on you about something, and that's okay. Maybe they know you're capable of achieving it and even more, and so maybe that's why they're doing it. And it's also important because your job makes you you. Whether it's something you want to pursue or whether it's a temporary job, it's still something that you can learn from and embrace because it's part of your life. And maybe it may not be what you want to do in life, but it serves as a learning experience and could be beneficial for other jobs to come, your personal life, how to manage difficult situations, stress. It's all about living life and learning from it, because if you don't learn, you're stuck in the same position. And so you need to learn to accept yourself, accept your flaws that you see about yourself, because I'm sure I wouldn't see those flaws in you, because you are amazing the way you are, and we can only improve ourselves going forward. Just work on improving yourself, however that may be. Whether you want to be more knowledgeable in terms of reading, you could read more often and enhance your vocabulary and stuff like that. Or you could draw some more if you want that to be sort of your career or hobby. The more you practice it, the better you get, which is very important. You can't learn without failure. You can't learn without failure. You can't learn without failure. Very important to keep that in mind. Because, or you could also do, I forgot the exact term for it, but it's when you, see someone do something and then you copy them to learn them, like the correct way to do things that way. And so, yeah. Sometimes I feel like we may be too caught up in our own worlds to acknowledge that there are people around us who also feel this way about ourselves, like themselves. So just because you see someone from your perspective, like an outsider of them, like, oh, they're doing great, they look amazing, they have their life put together, everything's going well for them, you truly don't know what's going on in their personal life. This could be medical stuff, this could be how they feel internally about themselves, about their partner, about their family, about their friends, about school, about work, whatever the situation may be. You don't know what everyone's going through, just like how everyone doesn't know what you in particular are going through. So just because you may see a little stain on your shirt or whatever, and you think people are staring at you and looking at the stain and criticizing you, I assure you they most likely are not. It's all in your mind, all the overthinking, thinking that people are just looking at you and making nasty comments, which there are nasty people out there. So there's not much to say about that, but I assure you that majority of the people aren't noticing the things that you are so worried about. So yeah, let's do a little more of just close mic whispering, and I want to talk a bit about confidence. I think it depends on what exactly you want to be confident about, whether it's just like as yourself, like entirely, like personality, physically, all of that. If you want to be confident in that sense, you can. Sometimes I feel like we're restricted about like certain criteria based on like age, like you're supposed to act a certain way, you're supposed to look a certain way, and I feel like that's not necessarily what we should be doing. You should pursue maybe the type of clothing that you feel confident in. Maybe you don't want to wear specifically jeans or something like that, and you want to wear something else like cargos or something, and if that makes you feel more confident, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Whatever makes you feel good, do it. Don't be shameful. Sometimes it's important to prioritize ourselves and be a little selfish, because at the end of the day, the only person who we can always confide in and who we're gonna need is ourselves. As much as like your parents or your friends or significant other may mean to you, and sure they could do a lot for you, it's important for you to prioritize yourself, your mental health, your physical health, and all of those sort of like contributions that make your life better. So just focus on working on making yourself feel better in the long run, or even in the short term, because short-term effects can lead into long-term effects. And so it's very important to keep that in mind, that we should love ourselves some more. So I want you to love yourself some more. Tell yourself you are more than capable. You are more than capable. You are more than capable. You are worthy of every good blessing that comes in your life. If there are some obstacles in the way, it's bound to happen. Everyone has obstacles, and we're put through them because we are capable of overcoming them and becoming a better person. And so it's very important to keep that in mind. As much as you want to fall down and just stay there, if you need a breather, take some time, get back up, and keep moving. It's very important to do that in order to become better people overall. And during those breather times, it's important to accept how did this situation become? Whether it was certain actions or whatever, it's important to accept them. Accept where we went wrong. Whether it's like an argument or something, it's important to take accountability. Accept all of your flaws. And that way, you can become more of a secure person in terms of confidence as well. But it's important to not overthink, because it could lead you down some very nasty roads. But as I said in the very beginning of the video, overthinking is also important, and it's an essential kind of feeling. Just like, I'm gonna relate this a bit to what's it called, Inside Out. I'm not sure if you've seen it, so I won't include any spoilers, but anxiety, how she was portrayed sort of like the villain, because people didn't really understand anxiety's use, and in the end you kind of acknowledge that there is uses for anxiety as well as overthinking and all of those different conflicting emotions. You just have to learn about yourself, embrace it, and push past all of these insecurities and negative thoughts about yourself or whatever it is that you're going through, and push through those obstacles and just become more confident in yourself, and just strive towards being happy and whatever causes that happiness. Don't be ashamed of putting yourself first, because it is important that you do so. It is your life. You're the main character. And that might sound corny, but you literally are living your own life. And as much as it's important to worry and care for others, it's very important to care about ourselves as well, because if we're not well, we can't help others. So prioritize yourself, prioritize your well-being, prioritize your health, everything in between. And have some methods to help you out on feeling better. Like I said, you could tell yourself positive affirmations. If you're having anxiety or overthinking, tell yourself everything's going to be okay. You could also tell yourself this in the mirror, like directly, like how I am right now, looking at myself, telling yourself you are worthy, you are capable, and sort of things like that. Whatever relates to your certain situation. You can also practice breathing techniques, like inhaling through your nose, holding it, and breathing out through your mouth a couple of times. That will help out also your kind of like lowering your pressure, like your blood pressure, I guess. If like overthinking and stuff kind of causes anxiety and just enhanced like feeling sensations. So that's also very, 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 very important. I apologize if you heard that truck car thing in the background. But yeah, I hope this has helped. Remember, you are worthy. You are here for a reason, and follow whatever makes you happy. Don't think too much about what you may think are insecurities or flaws. And as I said, fake it till you make it. It might not be the specific thing that works for you, but it could work. But if not, then you could always just tell yourself you are capable, because you are, and you will have tons and tons and tons and tons of roses in your gardens very, very soon. And yeah, I wish you the very, 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 very best. And yeah, I hope you're doing very well. I hope you're having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, breakfast, brunch, lunch, or dinner, wherever you are in the world. Remember to take very good care of yourselves and be kind to others. And I will catch you guys in the next one. And a big, 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 big thank you once again to Nick. And take good care of yourself. You. Take good care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. And also be kind to others, because you don't know what everyone's going through. And I hope this has helped you out. And yeah, sleep well, everyone.